What if there was no animation in the world? I don't know. But people had managed to live somehow without animation before 19th century. And that's when things began to be not serious yet, but, well, began to be. One of the first examples of human experiments to show motion was found in Iran on a 5,000-year-old pottery bowl. There was drawn a sequence of 5 different stages of jumping goat. A few years later, in 1832, one Belgian, Joseph Plateau, invented phenakistoscope, spinning cardboard discs that created a fluent illusion of motion. In 2 years, William George Horner invented the zoetrope. Things went this way almost 4 decades ahead, until in 1887 Charles-Émile Reynaud invented praxinoscope, the successor of the zoetrope. Later he adapted his invention to project before a theatrical audience. This is how Paris saw Pauvre Pierrot. Okay, we got to the 20th century, and a lot of stuff happened here. Well, all of it. Almost. In 1908 was created Phantasmagoria, an animated film which is widely considered as the first animated cartoon. It is a little bit surrealistic with some strange transformations, like an elephant became a house. And if Phantasmagoria is the first animated cartoon, Gertie the Dinosaur, made in 1914, is the first cartoon to feature an appealing character. A big step in the animation industry was creating a rotoscoping technique by Max Fleischer in 1915. Nowadays, this technique is widely used in visual effects. In 1918, Fleischer Studios created Out of the Inkwell, where appears Studios' first famous character, later known as Coco the Clown. This show kind of merged reality and cartoons. In every episode, the main character had some arguments with an artist. Out of the Inkwell was airing for next 11 years, until in 1930, their next animation series, Betty Boop, saw the world. Almost simultaneously with Coco, in 1918 Master Tom appeared on the screens with a comic but a little bit tragic plot. But later Master Tom was renamed to well-known today Felix the Cat. Meanwhile, far to the west, on the other side of the country, in Los Angeles, two brothers called Walt and Roy found Disney Brothers Cartoon Studio. And later it was renamed to... Anyways, in 1928 Disney released Steamboat Willie. That's where appeared Mickey Mouse, well known today for eating other companies, I guess. And it's not like everybody wanted only to consume animation. Warner Bros. Cartoon Incorporated started airing the series of our childhood, Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies. I'm sorry, but I was growing on those series, not Dancing Mouse. Speaking of mouse, in 1937 Disney releases its Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, the first hand-drawn animated feature. And after its huge success, during the next 5 years, theaters had seen several new films, such as Pinocchio, Fantasia, Dumbo and Bambi. In the 50s, people don't go to the cinema anymore, they have TVs, they're lazy now. Why does it keep happening to me? And everything started with Crusader Rabbit, the first limited animation cartoon made for the small screens. It was relatively short, each episode lasted 5 minutes. 1/3 of each contained commercials. Even though Disney has some big releases this year, golden age of animation started by Steamboat Willie is about to end. More and more cartoons appear on TV. 10 years after Crusader Rabbit, in 1960, The Flintstones by Hanna-Barbera Productions becomes the first prime-time animated series. Moreover, now it lasts for half an hour. In 1972, Fritz the Cat appeared in the theaters and became the first X-rated feature successfully released in the US. Back in the day, adult animations were not a common thing, and this cartoon had met a lot of criticism from the conservative part of animation industry, particularly for featuring sex, strong language, and drug use. And despite the controversial critique, Fritz the Cat paid off 100 times or so. With a cost of production of $700,000, it grossed worldwide $90 million. Even today, this cartoon is the most successful animation feature in the history. Its commercial triumph showed that not only the princess could make money, turned out an ordinary guy with not so ordinary situations could do the money either. That is how The Simpsons met small screens in 1989. 2077 is the street, and this show is still airing and still predicting everything. For 40 years there was no network dedicated only to cartoons, until the Cartoon Network appeared in 1992. At first, you could see their only already created Looney Tunes, Merry Melodies, Tom and Jerry, and some other old ones. With the growth of an audience, the list of cartoons was updated with more and more titles, which now were made by Cartoon Network itself. But there was one more innovation to go. In 1995, Pixar makes Toy Story, the first feature with a completely computer-generated image. Since then, you could see more and more 3D cartoons on the screens. And, well, looks like most of them are. Later on, things were just becoming nothing innovative as far as I know. And thanks for watching.